So this is just a quick video about how I'm using WordPress with a static directory to host all of my WebXR side projects and Babylon.js stuff and A-Frame and Three.js, whatever I make. The main problem that I ran into was trying to find a way to incorporate this stuff into WordPress in a way that was clean, and just doing it into the WordPress core just had all kinds of problems with file paths and trying to keep everything in sync, and it was just a lot of chaos. It's a lot easier just to keep all of my scenes kind of self-contained and kind of transportable. So for example, I've got a scene here for the breathing timer that I made a couple months ago, and it's just the markup for the scene basically just creates the canvas, a couple of audio files, and some JavaScript that sets up and runs the scene. And I can just keep all of that in a folder by itself with an index file that is the default for that folder. And then I can load this in an iframe on the WordPress side. So you can, the advantage is before I load any of this WordPress, I can just work directly out of that static version of it. And I can also link directly to these, but then I can also embed that static version in an iframe. And I'm not going to keep running this because of the sound, but basically I can just pull the whole scene into the iframe. And the lazy bones way of doing that for me was using the snippets plugin rather than writing a plugin for myself. This was just a tiny amount of code. So I just used the code snippets thing, and I just made a short code called scene frame, and I just passed it a string called title, and I used that title to point to one of these folders here. So in that case, I'm just pointing to the breathe one. And if we look at that scene, the short code is just scene frame title equals breathe. So there's not really a lot of error checking or anything. Again, this is just a personal project, so I'm not going to go crazy with levels of abstraction. So yeah, the only other thing that I did, I wanted to publish these scenes more like blog posts rather than static pages. So I made a custom post type called scenes that is very similar to a WordPress post, but is in a separate bucket of stuff where I can kind of customize the layout of these independently of the regular blog posts. But then they can kind of commingle on the site. So if you see on the homepage here, there's a regular blog post and then two scene posts right next to each other. And there's not much yet to indicate the difference between those two. But there are also, there's a separate category of scenes there that you can navigate to directly. So yeah, that's my little lazy bones vrhermit website. Now that I just wanted to get enough done so that I can stop thinking about it and get back to actually writing some scenes. So let me know what you think.